Welcome back to Mindset Rebooted. I'm Rami Sunga.
And I'm Sam Hay. And today we're going to be talking about how TikTok looks like it may get banned in the US, how famous YouTuber Linus Tech Tip was hacked today, and why cybersecurity is a growing field.
So what's going on with TikTok, man? Today I was on Twitter and I see that it is trending. They testified in front of Congress today. Get us up to speed. What's going on?
So TikTok, although it is a tool that's been really popular here in the US, there's been a lot of concern about it. You know, as far as information is concerned, intelligent, sensitive information. It seems like the Chinese Communist Party may be using it for their own gain at the detriment of the US. And so obviously that's a national security concern. And so TikTok, they have been dispelling those ideas by saying, hey, like, you know, that's not what's going on. But, you know, we should be still allowed to be used in the US for reasons X, Y, and Z. And so we saw today how their chief CEO really had spoke before Congress and was stating his case, essentially. And so we're not sure what will happen at this point, but that is kind of what's going on.
Yeah, so that's what's going on. And because that's what's happening, a lot of content creators on TikTok are, you know, they're rightfully scared because they've created a career on this platform. And now what they're being told that that platform might just be taken away from them. Yeah,
exactly right. And I think that it's a valid concern, right? Because one thing that TikTok has done very, very well is that whether you are famous or not famous, their algorithm has allowed for people to just post content. And it's allowed for, if it's been well received, to just continue to get shared and shared and shared, and essentially build a following for people who aren't famous to become famous and to be able to, you know, monetize themselves in that way. And so it has been very, very helpful. And if you are someone in that position, rightfully so, I would be thinking to myself like, oh man, like my bread and butter is being threatened. But that's why we should also be able to use other tools.
Yeah, and one thing I learned a long time ago is that we shouldn't get married to one specific tool or device or technology. I like to tell people I got no loyalty to Apple or Android. No. Man, it's whatever works for what I need. And so in this instance, with TikTok, if it's about to get banned, what we need to do as content creators is start creating pathways for our viewers to be able to still receive our content, maybe on a different platform. Maybe let's get their email address, their phone number, something else where we actually start establishing ourselves as the owner of our method to communicate with our audience.
That is, oh gosh, that is such a great point. Because I know, like for me, for example, like I've mentioned this on other podcasts. When I, you know, was doing drop shipping on Amazon and Facebook, anytime they decided to say, hey, you're out of compliance or stop certain things, shut things down right then and there, well, then my operations had to come to a halt because I had to comply with their platform. And that's the risk you run when you're married to just one platform, is that if that's your mainstream of income, well, what are you going to do? And so having those, I guess, different places that you can have your content is very important. I think of it kind of how if somebody is doing, you know, backups, you know, of their information. Like when I was in the Navy as a system administrator, data analyst, I had to do backups. So that meant that if one thing failed, or let's just say there was a fire where our main server was, we were still able to have access to information that we needed, the latest and greatest information, because we had it backed up to other devices and also in other servers. So that's like how you want to view your content. You want to make sure that you don't just have it on the TikToks. You also have it on the Facebooks. You also have it on the YouTubes. You have it on whatever else is out there, right? And that will strengthen your chances of being able to keep the ball rolling in the event of a TikTok ban.
Yeah, so we're removing that single point of failure with this ban, right? By having all these other platforms. But there's also one thing I think a lot of people tend to forget. We all develop certain skills and knowledge as we built this brand on TikTok. and we're mainly just focusing on TikTok because that's what's currently happening. But on any platform, as you mentioned, you could get banned, you could lose your control over it. But the skills that we developed from building our platform, that's actually the thing that we should be really focusing on. I think there's two things actually. So focus on making sure you know how to create content. And because you know how to create content, you also know how to segment your target demographics. You know who's paying attention, and you know that because you know that, you could actually replicate that in a different platform. So that's one skill set that we should all be focused on. The other part is diversification, protecting yourself. There's a certain level of security required because as we know a lot of fraud happens. It's very important to have that simple two-factor authentication set up, whether that's email or phone number. But we keep hearing that a lot of people, I see it personally on Instagram, like every few weeks or so, one of my friends got their Instagram hacked, and it's like, why didn't you set up two-factor authentication? That's one of the easiest things to set up. But and there's other stuff like, why are you clicking on this phishing stuff? Have you heard about a lot of people from your friends or wherever else experiencing that too? Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, I've reported to Instagram on behalf of friends. Like I'll do like the whole report of like, oh yeah, this because this person is copying the profile of this person, and it's kind of annoying that we have to do it, but that is something that happens. And then yes, I have heard about people getting hacked and things like that, and then I've also received stupid messages from hackers. And like when your friends send you that crypto message, you're like, my guy, you just got hacked, bro. And then you send them a text message like, hey bro, you know you're hacked. It was so funny. Like, quick story, some hacker had sent me a message and was like, hey, can you send me this because I need this information. I forgot exactly how they worded it. They were like, yeah, I need this information. And it was just a red flag all around. I was like, yeah, my friend can literally just call me if he really needs my help with this in this regard. So then I just happened to like make a sarcastic response, but I let my buddy know. But just doubling back real quick, I think that as far as the whole TikTok thing is concerned, one of the fears that people have with actually creating on other platforms is that TikTok has been working with them because of how the algorithm has been working for them. And even though they may know how to content create, they may not sure that the performance will replicate of like how it worked for them on TikTok. Because like we see it, you might post something on TikTok, you might post something on YouTube, post something on Facebook, and they can all do different things, have different types of popularity going on. And so I think that could also be one of the driving concerns. So I think if you're someone who is content creating on TikTok and you have a popularity there, it would be good to also just give your following periodic heads up of like, hey, funnel over to this platform. Funnel over, because this is also where I have this, that, and the third. And I think that kind of gives you that safety net that you're looking for. Because I think somebody else you were telling me about before the show did that, correct? Yeah. So one of the biggest tech review accounts on YouTube, Linus Tech Tips, they got hacked earlier this morning, and that's over 15 million subscribers on that one account. Wow. So they got hacked by cryptos, and all of their private videos started getting publicized and stuff like that. And essentially their YouTube account got shut down because obviously they got hacked. And that means that they lost that access on YouTube to their 15 million subscribers. But the guys who run that account, they're like, don't worry, we still have all of our programming going to be released as scheduled on our other platform, which is right here. And you guys all already know about our other platform because we've mentioned it multiple times in all of our previous episodes and stuff like that. So they developed that infrastructure of, hey, YouTube is how you discovered us, but just in case, we also have this platform that we own that you're able to have more direct communication with us. I think that's the trick right there, is that if you just tell someone, hey, you should follow my Instagram, but it's the same exact content as what's on my TikTok, there's no real reason to follow my Instagram. Right. But if I tell you, hey, like, you should follow me on Instagram because that's where I actually respond to DMs and comments more, then there's an incentive. Dance on the X, my group, that's what we did. We have a Facebook and Instagram page, which is a little bit more popular of how people discover us. But I also remind people like, hey, if you want us to actually know, if you want us to actually interact with you a little bit more or get to know our most recent updates, you're actually better served to join our private Facebook group. right? And so that gets them into that. So we're kind of just moving them along there, going from Instagram and regular Facebook, and they're going to that private Facebook group. And now they have that closer connection with us. So I think it's important to diversify where you're available, but also diversify what you're providing where you're available.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let me ask you this. In your experience, do you also see a lot of content creators funneling people to like their own private website?
Not necessarily their website. Some of them are, especially if they're more like they're a fitness content creators. So obviously they have a fitness program that they run that they're trying to sell.
Gotcha.
And help people, or something like that, or an Etsy account. For the most part, a lot of people, what I see is like they just say, hey, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on YouTube, and that's where they try and grow. Not necessarily saying why they should hit me up there. But it's still smart because they're still spreading out their audience in a different area. For example, if we look at Twitch is notorious that their algorithm is very hard for you to be discovered if you're brand new. So what the big Twitch users say is like build up your account somewhere else and funnel people to your Twitch account. So that's one example there of being able to diversify and funnel your audience in a different location.
That's dope. So like just real quick to recap what we've talked about so far is obviously diversifying the platforms that you're on, right? But then also being able to give a reason that incentivizes people to funnel over to those other platforms.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And honestly, like the whole hacking situation that we were talking about before, it's very real. And that's why a lot of companies invest in cybersecurity.
Yeah. Cybersecurity. We mentioned it before that it is huge. It's very big, and there's actually so many jobs available in cybersecurity. And because of the lack of workforce compared to available positions, the positions pay out more because, supply and demand. Not enough people know the skill sets required to be a cybersecurity analyst or specialist. So they'll pay you more just so that they could keep you from being recruited from somewhere else. That's
fire. Because yes, that's fire. And I saw the job outlook for cybersecurity, bro. Oh my gosh. Like between now and I think it's like 2030, the percentage is like crazy. It's like way more than other sectors. So it lets you to know that there's steady growth. It's healthy in that way. And that job security in that field is pretty good.
Well, let's look at it, right? Just on a common sense stuff. So we're going to take away all the stats. We're going to take away all the industry know-hows, right? Let's just ask, how many of us have a cell phone? How often do we carry a cell phone around with us? That should automatically tell you there's always 24 hours of cybersecurity being applied towards your device already because you have a cell phone. None of us want our private information to be seen. No. None of us want the video camera to be turned on, and then people can just hear what we're doing. But the thing is, everyone's on a cell phone. Everyone travels around. We get on Wi-Fi immediately. So cybersecurity is here to stay because it's already part of our lives. I don't think the only way to get away from technology is if you get off the grid and you get all the electronics away from you. So go camping out in the wilderness one day, and that's the only way that you won't need cybersecurity.
Yeah, but you will need some type of security. I'll tell you that.
Or maybe the GPS locator, but yeah, that might even need cybersecurity too, right? Yeah. Because that's like if I tie in the military side, that's how they actually do more stuff is through the nationwide GPS stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And like speaking to the military people, y'all know I'm a Navy vet, and I want all of my veterans to be able to take advantage of all the benefits that are available to you. We're talking about cybersecurity. You need to make sure that if you are a recipient of any of the GI Bills that you look at Vet Tech, which is a pilot program that the Veterans Affairs has launched. It's government funded for you to be able to gain technical skills so that you can land that six-figure job that we're talking about and be able to contribute to society in ways such as cybersecurity. Now, on Vet Tech, if you go there, there are tons of boot camps that the Navy, or excuse me, not the Navy, but that the VA has listed for you to get yourself hooked up with, and it's organized based on location. So California, Georgia, whatever state you're in, you can find boot camps in all of those different respective states so that you can either choose to go in person or you can do it online. Sometimes it's offered in both as well. So it's up to you, but all you need to qualify it for it is at least 1 day of unexpired post 9/11 GI Bill benefits. 1 day of unexpired benefits. That's huge. That means that if you are going to school right now on the GI Bill and you are getting your degree, bachelor's, master's, whatever, you can use all the way up to, you know, the 35 months, even if you are getting ready to hit the 36-month mark of your GI Bill. That 1 month unexpired, you can take that to get a whole nother GI Bill on top of it through Vet Tech. Vet Tech is going to cover your tuition for the boot camp that you go to, such as cybersecurity, and you're going to get a housing allowance on top of it, just the same way your post 9/11 GI Bill gives you. So that is something that is huge. Not a lot of people know about it. I learned about it as a career counselor on like my last 6 months in the military, and I want to be able to make sure that all of my veterans out there know about it as well. Take advantage.
Yeah, definitely take advantage. And also to non-military personnel, take advantage of the requirements or the need for more cybersecurity professionals. And because there's such a big need, we don't necessarily have to follow the traditional school route. We don't have to do a 4-year degree. You don't really need that. What they're looking for is skill set. They're not looking for degrees. They're looking for skill set. Do you know how to do SQL, Python? These are all like industry terms, but these are things that you could take boot camps for, and they're usually a lot cheaper than a higher education degree. They're usually a lot faster, and then that means if you get certified and you get enough hours of working on certain projects, that means you get faster opportunity to get a job. A 6-figure job. Yeah. And so take a look at it. If you're in the San Diego area, you're actually, I think you got a double whammy in terms of winning, because you have the military active there. So obviously Vet Tech and stuff like that. But San Diego is also really well known for cybersecurity. So whether you're military or civilian, if you're in San Diego, just know there's cybersecurity councils available there for you that you could just look into, meet up with other cybersecurity professionals, even CEOs of those companies, to help you get that training to actually get this career. And man, we talked a lot about cybersecurity. I feel like we're recruiters almost.
I mean, well, you know what it is? We use this platform to help. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that as we continue to grow our platform, we might be in need of some cybersecurity skills.
Oh, absolutely. You know? And you know what? Yes, we're talking about cybersecurity a lot, but our real goal is to help us develop ourselves, like you mentioned. And we initially talked about TikTok, and we're touching on the base of creating, developing skills for yourself, so that you could earn a higher wage income, so that you could live the lifestyle that you want. The people who are content creators on TikTok, they could also still be content creators on different platforms, and that gives them empowerment to be able to be independent artists, independent creators. Self-employed people is pretty much what I'm getting to, which means that you control your lifestyle as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I have much more to add to this conversation, to be honest with you, brother.
I don't. I think this was a great conversation. And I don't know how to transition it back to you to close us out. So I'm just going to ask you to close us out.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. If you got great value out of this content, please make sure you subscribe to this podcast. And please share this with someone else. Not only does it help us grow this platform, but also it can help us serve others in the communities, because that is exactly what we're trying to do. So please do that. My name is Sam Hay. That's Rami Sunga. And until next time, Mindset Rebooted. Sometimes when things go wrong, you can't blame life, cause when you shot your shot, what was your aim like? What were you targeting? Cause if it ain't right and you still go with it, then that is on you.